since you used a door, huh? Well, I know who you are. I know what you are.
You were the chosen one! It was said that you...
I am so sorry, but like I was editing the clip and I saw that dialogue. It's like I knew what I had to do. Like I saw it, I saw the joke, and it was like I couldn't resist.
Oh my gosh, that is great.
Isn't that like the perfect juxtaposition the clip?
Oh my gosh, yes. Oh my
Like
gosh.
I kind of want to just play it again, just how
Play
perfect
it again,
it is.
play it again, do it.
Okay.
Been a while since you used a door, huh? Well, I know who you are. I know what you are.
You were the chosen one! It was said that you were...
It also works because episode 3 is coming back in theaters, so there you go.
Yes. So I just got to admit, I didn't plan it this way, but oh my god, did this work perfectly?
You could not have planned this any better, dude.
All right. So everybody, welcome to the Friday night feature, the once a month celebration where I rip off all of Jared's good ideas and claim them as my own.
Of course. As people normally do to geniuses. So let me get this straight. You're the Tom King of streaming then?
Yes, I saw that you were successful with your Saturday night movie things, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to do my own movie reviews. I'm going to do them once a month, though.
Yes, because I'm definitely the first one to do that.
Yes, but you did it before me, so I'm ripping you off.
Okay. I love how I try to give you an out of being a ripoff, but you're like, no, I'm going to dig the hole deep.
I am nothing if not self-deprecating. So, this is the Friday night feature. The once a month we review a movie. I try to bring a guest on, and today, unfortunately, the guest is Jared from Comics League.
How are you?
Nice. And then before we go to the comments, we have our stalwart, a man whose loyalty is unquestioned, who I'm always happy to have my side. We have Infinity Chris.
Hey, how's it going?
Good. I had to glaze you a little bit there. All right. So Nix says there are no accidents or coincidences. How you doing, Nix? Just also, Nix, the link is in the group chat if you want to join anytime, or you can just hang out in the chat. Feel free. So everyone, be careful. We have a moderator in the chat, and she's not afraid to use her hammer.
So I don't know what's going on, Nick. It's just all day in preparation for this, I've been feeling very jumpy.
It's better to be jumpy than wanting to kill younglings. So yes, we were reviewing the movie Jumper, a 2008 film, or as I like to call it, the rematch between Anakin Skywalker and Mace Windu. It stars Hayden Christensen, with the antagonist being Sam Jackson. I swear when they casted it, they knew what they were doing.
Mm-hmm. By the way, this movie also features a cameo that I don't think you're gonna pick up on, but it's one that when I first saw this movie, I was like, okay.
I was just waiting for somebody to whisper in Hayden's ear, "Save Martha."
Well, not just that. There's an actual cameo that I know you don't know.
Yes. Yes. So before we do that, we'll do that when we get there. Nick says, "I am too busy with game development and Anesis to do anything else." That is fair. Nick is too busy being a productive member of society to join us plebs. We get it. You're awesome. But yeah, I want to do some very quick housekeeping first. So I've been teasing these, but I got these in today. These are some Screecher keychains. Actually, let me full screen myself to kind of get the full thing. So these are Screecher keychains. Look, they're a thick boy right here. Yeah, and they got this nice cute little chain here. Mm-hmm. And I got 6 of these as like a test run. I'm probably going to have these for the Kickstarter. So the Kickstarter this fall, if you want one, these will be part of the goodie bag.
Oh, dope.
Yeah, I might send these some people as like a promo, but yeah, like I just want to do like a test run of them to see how they came out. They came out really good actually.
Yeah, they did. They look really high quality.
Yeah, I got them from Vograce, which is like kind of an order site. They did pretty good. They also have pins on there. I might try those next. But lastly, we got one little more item to go through before we get to the movie. Two things actually. First off, I have a clips channel now. So I like doing some of these shorts, and then Jared pointed out that doing too many shorts on your main channel could skew the algorithm. So I decided to create a clips channel to upload my shorts, which will include clips from my streams, as well as any random BS that I try to come up with. So the Phoenix Press clips are right there. Please sub if you can, and watch some of my outfits. Jared actually, I got 3 shorts on there now. Jared actually makes an appearance in one of them.
I make cameos. I show up.
Yes. You're like Ray Porter. You make cameos.
Exactly.
Okay. So did you guys see? Okay. This one. Did you guys see that? They're doing life-size evolution plushies.
Oh.
So did you know about the thing about Vaporeon?
What?
No. I'm not going to continue that.
Then why did you ask it?
Because it is a very, very famous copy
your
pod.
audience, Nick. Shame on you.
Oh God. Yeah, they've been doing
come on,
like
Nick.
these.
You can't just put that out there and then just leave it hanging.
Most people, most people who know about like what I just said, they know.
Is it like the number one rule about Fight Club is we don't talk about Fight Club? Is it one of those scenarios?
All right, I'm going to send this to you on Messenger. I just hope you have a barf bucket ready.
A what?
A barf bucket on hand.
All I see in the thumbnail is, hey guys, did you know that in terms of male and
female
click
Pokemon
on it. Breeding?
Just click on it. Don't read it out loud. Do not read it out loud. You will get us banned.
Okay.
All right, so while Jared's doing that, I'm going to talk about... So we got a shadow drop from GOG Games. This is kind of a big deal for me. Breath of Fire 4 got released on GOG, and this might not be some big deal for some people, but for someone like me, that's a big deal. Chris, did you hear about that?
Yeah, I saw it on
Jared read it! He read it!
So sad that I asked. What? Who asked this?
I warned you, Jared. I warned you. You insisted.
Oh my god! Oh my gosh!
He's still reading.
All right, I need to bleach my. I just went to confession today. You a-hole.
Jared, I warned you. I warned you. But Chris, did you hear about the Breath of Fire 4 drop?
Yes, I did.
That is really cool. I'm happy. And although I can easily emulate Breath of Fire 4, I will be buying this with my next paycheck because this is something that I want to support.
Breath of Fire, is that what happens after you have spicy food?
Sometimes.
Okay. That's one to make sure I was understanding, because remember, I don't speak dweeb. I'm just
so Jumper.
Yeah, all right. So, do you want me to tell you the surprise cameo now or later?
Let's get over with.
Okay, Griffin is playing Halo 3 in this.
Oh, that's
the scene where he's in the cave and you hear tank beats ghost, tank beats hunt. That's from Halo 3 when you first get the Scorpion tank. You're just laying waste to everything. I remember because when I saw this movie for the first time, I had just gotten Halo 3 for the first time, so I had just done playing with that mission. So when I do this, I perk up and I'm like, wait a minute here.
Hey, Keely. So. We are talking about the movie Jumper, which Jeff said Hart Hayden Christensen. It's basically the story about a young man who discovers he has the ability to teleport, and he kind of lives a life without consequences. And there's these people called paladins that hunt him down. The main paladin that's after him is Mace Windu, aka Sam Jackson, who conveniently uses a lightsaber.
If only it was like purple electricity, that would be even better.
Unlimited power. So this is actually based off of a book. I have read the book, and funny thing about the book is the movie is fairly accurate for like kind of like the first act, up until the initial bank heist, and then after that it goes into a whole. They go in two totally different directions. Like there is no paladins in the book. He kind of ends up working with like the NSA. There's like this plot where like there's like skyjackers and he rescues people. It's a really, really interesting book. Like Millie's in it, but it's kind of a different thing.
And then
but the reason
realize is that it's revealed he's in the witness protection program after Anakin killed all those younglings.
I was waiting for that.
I had to.
And then Mace Windu like hunts him down. Like if you want to apply the logic, it kind of works. I'll give you that much.
Yeah, it kind of works. So what you don't know is that Mace Windu has a robot hand that, but that has actual skin on top of it. That's why you don't see it.
Fair enough. The other reason,
and also after she was taken by the criminals in Batman vs Superman, Martha Kent was put in the witness protection program where she started the Paladins.
Oh god. So another reason why this movie is kind of near and dear to my heart is it's both set and was also filmed 20 minutes from my house.
Oh, really?
Yes. So you like you know that like that opening scene with the winter and like the bridge?
Mm-hmm.
I've been there. That whole bridge, that is Gallup Park in Ann Arbor, Michigan. And I've like they're rebuilding the bridge, but I've literally walked that set. I've really walked there.
That works. That's cool. I like that.
Yeah. What's really funny is the high school is Huron High School, and so like the high school is here, and like the park is kind of here. So like they're not exactly as aligned as the movie makes it seem. It's kind of interesting.
Well, yeah, because he jumps there.
And I also like how like why did you tell them about Ann Arbor? Why did you tell them about Ann Arbor? And like there's like a scene where it goes to like a college bar, see people with the University of Michigan stuff. Which for those who don't realize it, this movie takes place in the same town as Screecher.
Ah, there you go.
Which would be kind of funny because at the time of this movie, Avery would have been 8 years old. I don't know. Chris, what do you think of this movie?
Yeah, I mean, it was okay. It happened.
He has no strong feelings one way or the other.
No, not really. It wasn't one of the best. It wasn't one of the worst, but it wasn't one of the best.
Yeah, that's kind of how I would put it. It's above average. I mean, for me, the fact that it's like Anakin and Mace Windu kind of gives it a few extra points, and then the fact that it was filmed in my hometown, is set in my hometown, gives a few extra points. So for me, it's like a 7 out of 10 movie. For anyone else, it would be like a 6 at best.
Mm-hmm.
What rating would you give it, Chris?
Maybe a 4 or 5.
Fair enough. And what about you, Jared?
In terms of how I would rank this, it's not like the best. It's a movie that like I'll watch if like it's on or like it's on streaming and it just comes through my recommendations. So I would give this probably maybe a 7 or a 7.5 in there because let me put it this way, it's not a great movie, but it's also not a horrible movie.
It's basically a movie where it's like you're at home, it's Saturday, you have nothing to do all day, and you see the movie is on cable, you're like, I'll watch it, and you have a good enough time. That's basically like kind of how I would put the movie in it. It does have a nice little mythology. Clearly they're doing sequel bait. It never happened. I will say, like, that motif, like with the piano, like the do 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 do, like that theme kind of slaps a little bit. I will say, I kind of dig that theme. It's nice. Like they have one good theme in there. Hayden himself, I gotta be honest. I think they're like this movie proves why he didn't really catch upon as an actor. Like he's not a terrible actor, but he's not a good or great actor either.
He got better later because you see him in like Ahsoka. You can tell he probably got some acting instruction in between that and this.
I mean, he kind of just like lived on a farm.
Well, somehow he improved.
Which I think he actually married, like the woman he married he actually met her on this film.
I thought I was hearing that they also got divorced at one point.
I know they had a kid together. Yeah, Rachel Bilson.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they met on this movie. It's kind of like Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds meeting on the set of Green Lantern.
Mm-hmm.
It's like you meet your wife on the worst of movies.
Yeah, I know. Isn't that funny? Well, again, and Nick and I have said the Green Lantern movie is not that bad.
It's definitely it's not like, oh my god, amazing. But it's like a slightly above average. Like I'd give it like a 7.58 for Green Lantern. Like it's not bad. Hey Insomniac, how you doing, buddy? And then Chad, if you guys have seen Jumper. So Chris, did you have the like standout moments for this movie? Like anything that you kind of enjoyed more than others?
No, I mean it's really forgettable. I mean, I watched it maybe. I think it took me 2 sittings to finish it, but like, they're in the Grand Canyon or they're on top of some scenic shot, and Samuel L. Jackson chases them.
To be fair, not much really happens in the movie. It's like he robs a bank, gets attacked by Mace Windu, goes back to Ann Arbor, meets his girl.
It's revealed that in his previous life he murdered a bunch of younglings.
Oh God.
He went on. He was actually a pod racer in a previous life. He doesn't take fire that well. His weakness is sand. You notice that's why he moved to Ann Arbor, Michigan, because that's the least amount of sand.
But his hangout spot is at the top of the Sphinx.
No, but it's at the top, away from the sand.
I really wish, you know how like Griff's hideout is like kind of in Egypt as well. I really wish there would have been a moment where like Hayden was trusting through. It's like, you know, I really hate sand.
Yeah, exactly. And then someone else completes the line, and that would be hilarious. I would love that.
Like I love sometimes some of these memes. Like I remember seeing this meme where Thor's sitting down. It's like, let's watch these Star Wars movies that Parker is always talking about, and then it like shows episode 1 with Natalie Portman in it, and you're just like, what? So how would you explain Star Wars and Nick Fury?
Well, what you could do is find out. No, so actually, what you find out is that Nick Fury had a twin brother, or the other way, and the more Marvel way to explain it is that was a Mace Windu is actually being played by a life model decoy of Nick Fury, of Nick Fury, because they do have these where he has these robotic bodies that do stuff for him, but they look exactly like him. So he always wanted to be a movie star, but he knows he can't leave being the director of S.H.I.E.L.D. So he's like, okay, I'm going to have the clone go do stuff. I'm going to call it the Nick Fury Clone Saga. And then once that's done, it'll reflect on my past sins. I got you, Nick. And then, essentially, it'll have its arm cut off, and there you go. We're good to go.
Ugh. Okay, awkward science here. Yeah, because oh gosh. So for me, I did like the teleporting effects. They didn't really do much with them here.
I did like the idea where they could follow him if they follow through his like jump scar, if you will. That's kind of because obviously, yeah, if like you're fighting someone that teleports and then they could just teleport away and you'll never find them, that's kind of cheesy. But at least with this, they're like, no, there is a way that they can find them. But I'm like, Nick, do they ever really explain the problem the paladins have with the jumpers?
Not really. Like,
I know.
I watched some of like the commentary behind the scenes stuff. Apparently, they had like this whole mythology made where like a certain German painter had his own jumper. I don't really know. The problem is, this is a problem I have. Star Wars has the same problem, coincidentally enough. And also, I'm going to call myself out. When you put so much mythology behind your characters, and you only put so much on the page, but you write it in a way where you have the mythology, and you assume the people know the mythology, you haven't explained it, you can't get mad at people when they get confused, and you say, oh, well, it's because this, and it's not on the page. I myself have had that problem with some of my comics. That's been a problem with Screecher, because I have this whole stuff in my head, and it makes sense to me. But because I don't explain it on the page, and the thing is, that's not the reader's fault. It's mine.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like too many like writers, I think, have an issue where they throw too much crap in there because, again, and Nick, you and I have talked about this about Zack Snyder. A problem that he has is that he doesn't kill his darlings well, where like he puts too much crap in there, which is fine if you're a fan, but like if you're trying to make a 2.5-hour movie, that's kind of troublesome.
The thing is, like, Jared, you're a creator yourself. World building is fun. It is really, really, really fun to just create worlds, characters, stories, backstories. It is like the best part of writing. But just when you go down and set down, like as a writer, it is really hard not to create like an expansive world for your characters. And when you go down and write the self-contained story, to cram it all in there or to do it in a way that makes sense, that can be kind of difficult.
Yeah, it's like but that doesn't mean you have to throw away all of your stuff. Or it is like, okay, you can't introduce this, particularly like a comic book as opposed to a movie script, because in a comic book, you have significantly less like real estate to work with. So it's like eventually you're gonna like have to not introduce stuff maybe in issue 1, maybe in issue 2 or 3, spread it out as you go along.
So Chris, as the creator of the Infinite Tales, have you kind of run into this problem? And I'll be right back to get some water, but keep on talking.
No.
Okay, well, that was a very simple answer. Well, it's like, as long as you like have everything like meticulously planned out, you should be like fine, because it's like if you have all this, if in the writing process you've already like, let's say like gotten through it, like you've 100% like outlined it, and it's like, okay, I'm gonna introduce this small bit of lore will be put in there. And here's the other thing that you could do as like when you're crowdfunding a comic, if you really want to put all this lore in there, you could release as like a stretch goal a lore book that has like all the stuff that you didn't want, that you wanted to put in, but you couldn't because it's like, I can't fit this in a 23-page comic.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we're starting to kind of get into the difference between like a planner and a pantser right there. But none of us are George R. R. Martin. Dear God, that guy is way too big of a pantser. Chris, would you say you're more of a planner or a pantser?
I don't know. Honestly, I don't think I could put myself in either one of those extremes.
I would say I definitely lean more into like the planner category, but I'm not like strictly on the extreme. Like I outline, I do like I do outlines for the whole book. I outline each chapter. but at the same time, I allow things to go a certain way. Like when I'm writing it, it's like, okay, it feels better if I go in this direction. Like I allow some spontaneity because I feel like that's important, you know?
Yeah, you're going to have to, but it's like it's essentially like because again, it's like you want to leave yourself in there a like room to, because here's the thing, if there's one thing that will, particularly if you're dealing with like a big issue or like a number one issue, the number one thing that, at least in my opinion, at least one of the number one things that will turn someone off from a story is a metric crap ton of lore dumps. That's why, honestly, Star Wars does this pretty well. They just have a crawl that explains, okay, we're in the Empire. This is happening. This is happening. These are the important characters. You're done. Start movie. Even in Episode 4, before you knew anything about Star Wars, that was your lore dumping, and obviously they sprinkle in some stuff like the Emperor and stuff. But besides that, that crawl is all you got back in the day.
And I think this is kind of a problem with the sequels, where they have so many characters, where like a lot of their backstory is in a novel, like Phasma. Like you know nothing about her until you read the novel, or like the Knights of Ren. You like even if you watch all 3 movies, you'll end episode 8 wondering, okay, what are the Knights of Ren? They never explain exactly what they are.
Mm-hmm. All they have, they try to hype them up. See, that was the other sin of Disney Star Wars. They set up genuinely cool stuff, but didn't do anything. Like, remember how many times they hyped up Phasma?
Mm-hmm.
And she gets thrown in the garbage. Or like the Knights of Ren, where they even have a scene in episode 9 where they're walking down a hallway and the stormtroopers are like, "It's the Knights of Ren," and then they just get killed off.
And the most ironic thing is, they tried to hype up Phasma as like the next Boba Fett character. They really tried hard. But in Force Awakens, the character that got the Boba Fett treatment was TR-8R. And if you look at it, it's for exactly the same reasons that Boba Fett got popular. He was a character that had minimal screen time, didn't really say much, and kind of kicked ass.
Even Din Djarin at first, before you knew anything about him, he was like, oh, okay, he's a faceless voice. He talks occasionally, Mandalorian.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, like just like that opening scene. I can bring you in warm, or I can bring you in cold.
Or like when, even when that dude is on his ship, and then you just see Mando show up and like throw him into the carbon freezing thing.
Yeah. So why do you think the prequels have kind of stuck around? Because they're not perfect movies. The thing that I would argue is the only perfect Star Wars movie is Empire Strikes Back. That's the only one that is like objectively good. Every other Star Wars movie has at least 1 or 2 other glaring issues. Chris, what do you think?
I only like the trilogy. The prequels and the sequels are awful for me.
All right. Do you think the trilogy has? Is there any issues with any of the movies that you would say?
Launched a franchise. I mean, clearly they were good enough for that.
Well, the thing is, for us old mans, the people who grew up in the 90s, you don't realize Return of the Jedi was the prequels to Star Wars fans before the prequels. Return of the Jedi was like, oh yeah, the trilogy's great. Return of the Jedi is not the best. It's still good, but it's not the best. Oh, those freaking Ewoks.
Or like
the
how
Ewoks
they hyped
or
up,
the Jar Jar.
Or like how they hyped up Boba Fett in 5, and then he just gets killed off.
Mm.
Until you read the extended lore, and it's like, actually, he didn't die, but still.
I mean, the reason they did that is because he was so popular.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, that's the funny thing is, I think it was one of those things where like he was kind of meant to be a side character, and like even before the movie, he was starting to take on a life of his own because, like, did you know Boba Fett's first appearance was at the San Antonio State Fair in 1978-79?
Yeah, wasn't he supposed to be like essentially Imperial Special Forces? And that's what's kind of interesting. when in Rebels they introduced the Imperial Super Commandos. That's what that's a reference to.
San Asmolo State Fair. Sorry. I'm looking it up.
I mean, if you look at the armor, he's just in like white.
Well, his first appearance in film was the holiday special.
Oh yeah, that's
true.
true.
Yeah, it looks like almost nothing like it.
Yeah, and he was even in blue armor back then too.
I don't know. Like I'm looking at some stuff right now. It looks like his stuff was like pretty fully formed. Yeah, because apparently, I guess for the that was pretty close to Lucasfilm, and so like they got like can you? Oh, yeah, that was like his first test fitting.
Yep, there you go.
Can you imagine? Like you're a kid in 1978. You love Star Wars more than anything, and then you see the actual characters in their movie costume just walk by.
Yeah, I wonder for whoever was in those costumes, that must have been a really hot day.
Oh god, imagine Vader.
Yeah, he's all in black. He's like, "Give me all the heat," which is ironic.
In the California sun.
Well,
Like,
yeah. As we know, it must have felt like Mustafar. You can imagine as he's walking and he's sweating, all of a sudden you just hear that one song that plays as he's burning in episode 3. All of a sudden he looked at the sun and goes, "I hate you."
The thing that kind of disappoints me about Boba Fett and the Mandalorian is when they showed him in season 2, like he was still awesome. Like he was still badass.
Badass. When he showed up, nice shot. I was aiming for the other one.
Yeah, like he was still honorable, but they still had that like doesn't talk that much kind of thing.
Yeah, and then it's like it's bad when tomorrow. This is the second time an actor has said, "Can we go back to the way they were before, where Mark Hamill with Luke and Tamar Morrison with Boba?" He's like, "Can we go back to the badass that doesn't talk that much?"
Yeah, I don't know. So Chris, like, what do you think of it kind of, like I'll back me up here, but it's like kind of like goes back to like the whole man with no name effect. And it's something that I think Hollywood keeps missing the mark on. What's your take on it?
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
But it's like, here's the other thing. You also have like, and I can kind of clip out on this because it's like when you have like Master Chief and like Halo, part of the reason why people liked him is because even from a gaming perspective, you can imprint your personality on Chiefs, that kind of work. But then even in the books, he didn't talk much, and it felt wrong for him to be outside of his armor. Where with the TV show, I get what they were trying to do, but here's the problem with they're like it's where with the chief actor, particularly when he said it's really hard for audiences to like identify with like a character that doesn't show their face. And I go, I would have believed that. Wait, Nick. I would have believed that if Mandalorian had not come out. So that's where I was like, that's where I'm kind of like, okay, so that's kind of where that's kind of where that whole idea of the thing of it comes from, and it's there's room for it. It's just, here's the thing. What I think that too many like Hollywood people are like too scared of that because and Dredd. But Brennan brings up a good point. Judge Dredd. I mean, look at the way Carl Urban was in Dredd. One of the criticisms of the Stallone movies was because he keeps taking off his damn helmet and talks way too much.
Yeah, and the other common criticism is you can't show emotion if you have a mask on.
Yeah.
Oh, mother ducker, I got the wrong one. I'm trying to like There we go. Yeah, take a look at this.
There you go.
Watch this.
Any Power Ranger. You're gonna get a copyright.
Yep. I made my point.
Mm-hmm. No, but you can 100% do that. It's and it's kind of funny again. Power Rangers and whatever that was were proving that you could do that for like even a fraction of the budget. And here's the thing: if you have a character that doesn't speak that much, when they do speak, that adds more gravitas to what they're saying, like with Chief or with Mando, or both.
Yeah, like that's the whole entire point of the character of Black Bolt. Like literally, when he speaks, he makes waves.
Yeah, I love that. So in World War Hulk, there was a scene where he's fighting the Hulk, and he basically like talks to Hulk, and then Hulk goes, "I didn't come to hear you whisper. I came to hear you scream." And then it just cuts, and you don't see anything. All you know is that Black Bolt just got his ass kicked by the Hulk. But yeah, that's the interesting thing about Black Bolt and like all those other characters, because that's the thing. If you have a character, that's why. Well, actually, let me go back for a second, because the thing about it, the issue that a lot of these studios, writers particularly, run into is that there's a lack of talent. Because again, you have to make sure that when that character does speak, what they say is awesome and badass. Because otherwise, because if like he just says, "I'll have fries," I'm like, yeah, well, that's what you speak for.
The also other problem you run into is vanity. The vanity of the actors is like, my face is my most important asset. How will they know it's me if they can't see my face? And there's also a lot of actors that act with their face. Even just like James Marsden, Cyclops. He talked it like he had to literally just act with like he couldn't act with his eyes and like act.
Well, yeah, and that's the thing. It's like, well, even on that, it's like with Halo, I had a good idea for like a compromise. It would have been still like not the best, but it would have been a compromise. You know how like in the Iron Man movies where they always have those shots inside the helmet where you see his face?
Mm-hmm.
Do that for Chief. That way you still see his face, but it's less like he's taking off his helmet because he keeps the helmet on.
I mean, that probably would have been a fair compromise. I still would have preferred all helmet. The thing for me is, look at like these voice actors can convey so much. Like even the Halo voice actor, Stephen Downes, does such an amazing job with just his voice. And the thing is, like back before they started using celebrities for voice actors, and they actually used voice actors, the voice acting was so much better. But they just hired celebrities for everything. I'm sorry, some celebrities make very bad voice actors.
Like The Rock.
What can I say except to go?
I swear, I really wish that at one point he could play a chef so we can all know what The Rock is cooking.
I hope he does the cooking by the book.
Mm-hmm, exactly.
Chris, what's your take on this like mask discussion?
I think most actors are narcissists and are very vain, and they feel that they have to put their face out there. But I don't blame the actors. I blame the writers and the directors, because they're the ones that made those ultimate decisions.
True.
Yeah, that's fair.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
true.
Chronicle, that is a movie that did we cover it on your channel before, Jared?
I don't think so.
I know we've discussed it. I know we've talked about it. I remember it. The movie has come up. I either I did or we considered
probably in like during a discussion we mentioned the name of the movie at one point.
Yeah, that might be something I need to cover. Mm-hmm. That's a great movie.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Jumper is kind of a superhero film if you think about it.
It's of the attitude of like Brightburn or something like that, where I'm like, I'm sorry. It's like, here's the thing. I know it wasn't as much of a trope back then, but because it's a trope now, and I've been exposed to so much evil superheroes or superheroes that go crazy tropes. Those movies just retroactively don't hit well with me anymore.
I don't know. I wouldn't really call this like a Superman bad movie because a lot of the jumpers.
Superheroes. I said superheroes. I didn't say Superman.
Well, yeah, I was just like generalizing, but like all the like the main two jumpers were essentially trying to live their life. Yeah, Jamie Bell, Griff was trying to like hunt down the Paladins, but that was more of a retaliatory. That was more of a fighting back measure.
Oh no, I was talking about Chronicle.
Oh yeah, Chronicle's an interesting thing because it is kind of a like superhero, like kind of going bad, but you also have another person rising up to be the hero.
I know,
as well.
it's the whole trope, and I'm like, okay, I don't want any more of this.
One thing I really liked about Chronicle is, so you have the three guys, like for like the first half of the movie, it was like Michael B. Jordan and Dana DeHaan, and then Michael B. Jordan's character gets killed, and the third person kind of rises up. Third person was in the background for like the first half of the movie.
Well, you know why Michael B. Jordan died, Nick? He had to go into witness protection program to become a Human Torch. Yes, I will fit this in however I can.
and then after the events of Chronicle, Dana DeHaan's character got adopted by Norman Osborn and changed his name to Harry. And then after the events of Amazing Spider-Man 2,
Harry Osborn is his witness protection name.
No, and then after the events of Amazing Spider-Man 2, he wanted to double witness protection. They launched him into space, and he went to Valerian, the city of 1,000 planets.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. and he met Enchantress from the Suicide Squad. And she says, "So that's it, huh? We're some kind of Suicide Squad."
Oh God. I love that movie. I actually do like Valerian.
And then Will Smith is a frequent flyer on the witness protection program because of how many identities he has changed.
I mean, he is the Man in Black.
And Sean Bean is the guy that when he's in the witness protection program, he drives them crazy because his identities keep dying.
Yeah, they keep chopping.
So they're like, another one, Sean?
You killed another identity? This is becoming a meme at this point.
Which is ironic because he's starting a show called Legend where he was a sleeper agent that assumed different identities.
I love how they made a Hitman level where the entire purpose is to kill Sean Bean.
They definitely had to do that. That's good.
But yeah, one of my favorite moments from Jumper is like in the beginning, where he's like going through the TV, and you see like the tsunami stuff. Like, oh no, this is such a disaster, and it's both subtle but also subtle as a brick. Where it's like, oh, he could help these people, but he's choosing not to. Mm-hmm. Would Chronicle be? It would be a good premise for a comic book, I think. I think there's enough there for,
but not a universe because it's. I mean, I wouldn't even say that there's enough for a sequel because everyone else besides that one guy that has powers kind of dies.
Yeah, because essentially all the powers they had was telekinesis, you know. Mm-hmm. And yeah, they did a lot of like interesting things with it, but like. It would make for a great graphic novel, like a really good, like maybe 3-part graphic novel, like a volume 1, 2, or 3. Like I could see a sequel where he's been training, and like the main villain gets resurrected or something. Yes, you know, or I don't know.
No.
Well, where did the powers come from?
Yeah, or the aliens show.
Yeah, the alien artifact.
Yeah,
you know what? Here's my theory. What if Chronicle is in the Cloverfield universe?
But that would require other Cloverfield characters having telekinesis at one point.
Not necessarily. Admittedly, the only Cloverfield film I've seen is 10 Cloverfield Lane.
I've seen more of them, and not once do they ever set up anyone having superpowers.
I don't know. It was just a thought because like found footage, and I don't know. It would be interesting.
It's in the found footage verse. All of no. Here's what you do to link them together. Before every movie, you have a scene where someone walks into a Blockbuster and all the found footage VHSs are there.
Oh, speaking of crossovers, have you seen the trailer for the new Predator film?
Yes, I have.
Oh, God.
Garrett knows where I'm going.
Yes,
Did
I
you
have.
see the wall of skulls? And did you notice one of them looked pretty
It looks
familiar?
like that Skulls declared its independence on a day.
It looked like that skull got a punch to the face, and the last thing it heard was "Welcome to Earth."
Well, did you also see apparently a predator had killed a T-Rex?
Okay.
So I'm like, oh, that's awesome. But yeah, I think that movie looks really dope.
So that makes an interesting question. So if Fox is creating a shared universe with all their like monster properties they own, what else could they loop into this? Because Independence Day is owned by Disney now, so they're clear to do this. So what else could they do?
The Avengers versus the Independence Day aliens. I'm telling you. There you go. And then at one point, maybe Captain America. So you still have the black guy punch him and go, "Welcome to Earth." So he hits him with the American shield.
But the Terminator versus the Predators.
Ooh. By the way, Nick, did you see that that Marvel's doing an event called Predator Kills the Marvel Universe?
Oh, I think I saw
no blood.
that.
Yeah.
The cover had no blood on it.
Yeah, but they'll probably do a red band version of it. They started doing more of those for their comics. Yeah, we'll see.
I'm trying to think of like other like Fox properties. Die Hard, John McClane versus. Okay. This is my dream. All right, I'm gonna go back to the '90s. Predator 3 comes out in 1998. It's a Die Hard Predator film. You basically have a Predator and John McClane, played by Bruce Willis, in like a giant building, and this is made in 1998.
Well, actually, yeah. Sal from Comic Pop brought up. Think about Predator. Here's how you make a good Predator movie. You make a good blank movie, like not Blank Man. Actually, the Predator versus Blank Man would be hilarious. But
that movie would last 30 seconds, Jared.
Yeah. But what you do is that you make a good like action movie, or like essentially what Predator 2 is. It's a cop movie, but then you add a Predator, and I don't know why my camera.
Did you hear my pitch where you basically make a Predator Die Hard movie?
Yes, it's essentially that. That's kind of the way you could do that, because the Predator is kind of that IP where you could do that, where you could say, okay, so we're just gonna make a regular action movie, but then later we loop in a Predator.
Yeah, like I think like if you do like classic Die Hard and you loop in a Predator, that works really well together.
Yeah, exactly. Plus, Die Hard is one of those things where like it's so 80s and it's believable that John McClane could stop a Predator.
Taken with a Predator. Liam Neeson fights a Predator.
He gets taken by the Predator.
The Predator kills John Wick's dog.
And the Predator's like, oh, and even the Predators have heard about John Wick, so they're like, the Baba Yaga. That's the one thing it says in English.
And when he defeats the Predator, he learns he's being recruited. He gets blooded as a Predator.
And then all of a sudden, John Wick goes, I know Kung Fu.
Whoa.
A Predator in the Matrix.
That would
actually be. I don't know how you would make that work, but that would be
virtual hunting.
For a second there, Chris, I thought you said the Predator crosses over with the movie Good Will Hunting.
How about them apples?
Oh my gosh. Oh, I got one. The Predator versus Godzilla. It has to kill Godzilla. Nick, I got it. Predator versus Geralt.
Good fight, more than Geralt.
Yeah, because Geralt has superpowers.
It would be a good fight, though. It would be pretty even.
That's like saying the Predator versus Superman. Ironically, also by Henry Cavill.
No, I got one for you. Highlander and Predator. They fight throughout the ages.
That could actually. That's actually technically the plot of Wolverine Predator.
I got you.
You could also do like. I'm trying to think. What would be another Stranger Things in Predator? It fights like the Demogorgon.
Oh God.
No. Imagine a chest burster gets a face hugger gets a hold of a demogorgon.
Oh, you know what I would love? The Predator fights the A Quiet Place creature.
Won't be clicking, that's for sure.
Yeah, exactly. Or the Predator fights Shadow the Hedgehog. And then all it does to immobilize Amy is it went to the next school of Chow Care and just starts brutalizing the Chows. Like Sonic and the guys walking to Chow World, it's just covered in blood. Oh, the Chows have been skinned.
I gotta say, I actually think Knuckles versus Echidna, because like Knuckles is all about like being a warrior and like fighting warrior versus warrior. I think that would kind of make for a more interesting thing. I must challenge him as a warrior.
Yeah,
Wonder
exactly.
Woman versus Predator.
I've long said that would be a good pitch where like the gods take away her powers, so she has to fight it with her bare hands and shield and sword. That'd be dope.
Okay, here's my pitch. It takes place at Themyscira. The Utah issue a challenge to the Amazons.
The Utah.
That's the name of the predator
Yautja.
species.
The Yautja.
Not the Utah. Utah's the state.
Blow me. Whatever. They issue a challenge. Fight your finest warrior against our predator in the jungles of Themyscira.
Well, the way and they wouldn't do that, but the way I pitched it was like the gods tell Diana, okay, we have a challenge for you to maintain your spot as Wonder Woman, but you have to face this challenge without your powers. You can have weapons and stuff, but you can't have any powers or the lasso. You have to face this as a regular warrior. The Predator shows up and starts killing Amazons, and then Diana journeys into the jungle and then fights the Predator.
I still think Black Panther versus Predator would be freaking amazing.
They're doing a comic book series on that.
Like a Predator lands in Wakanda, and T'Challa has to go into the deep jungles of Wakanda and face him. That sounds like amazing.
The way that they did the comic is a couple of Predator brothers are trying to like rival for a place in the tribe. So they land in like Wakanda, and then they're both battling over the vibranium because they both know that if they bring vibranium back, it will put them in good favor with their father. It's actually really cool. They're actually doing Spider-Man versus the Predator now.
That would be cool.
That would be really again Kraven the Hunter versus a Predator.
Why have they not made that yet?
I guarantee you they will. That would be a good movie, by the way, and it has.
Also, Kraven would get blooded. He would very much get blooded.
Oh yeah. There's. I think Kraven stands a chance of actually defeating a Predator. Here's the thing with the Predator. He's hyped up as this badass. He keeps getting his ass kicked.
Well, the problem, the thing with humans is they use unconventional tactics to fight back.
But even like any Predator, like after 2, knows what they're going into, so you gotta expect this.
But that's the thing about humans. We keep bringing the unexpected. Our ingenuity is so off the charts that we're just coming up with new ways of killing each other. It's one of our best talents.
Look at Nick; he's so speciesist.
What if it was the Predator versus Chris Hansen?
To catch a predator.
That would be great.
Have a seat.
I think someone did a skit for that where Chris Hansen interviews a predator. Master Chief versus a predator. That predator is getting his ass kicked. Like hard.
Yep, and then Jason Ingram's dropping the things. Darth Vader versus Predator would be interesting.
The Predator is getting his ass kicked.
I don't know. Darth Vader has like
Force, dude. Come on.
Yeah.
You could have a good match with like Delta Squad from Republic Commando versus a Predator. That's something I would play. So they did a DLC for Ghost Recon Wildlands where you fight a Predator.
Yeah, I saw that.
So the way they do it's the hardest fight in the entire game. It took me 80 tries when you beat it, and they're like, "Do we tell Bowman, our CIA handler?" We're like, "Do we tell her about this?" And then one of the squad members goes, "You think she'd really believe us?" So they're like, "Good point. Let's never mention this again." And then you get for beating it, you get a Predator like mask that when you go into night vision and thermal mode, it goes into Predator view.
Oh, that's cool.
And it even distorts people's voices like the Predator does. So I'm like, oh, that's really cool. You can't use any of its laser. Oh, and also in the next game, there's a crossover with the Terminator, and when you shoot it, it doesn't do anything until you get future guns, because apparently they forgot the rule that you can't bring stuff from the future into the now time.
One of those craziest crossovers was like Call of Duty and Godzilla, to where like you can activate Godzilla and it's like huge.
Oh yeah, well, did you know that in the comics they did a Avengers and Attack on Titan crossover?
That is crazy.
Ow.
Where the Titans show up in New York City and it's the Avengers fighting.
Imagine
and then Spider-Man's like, guys, he's gonna eat me.
I want a Pacific Rim and Attack on Titan crossover. That'll never happen.
Oh, that's gotta be it. Aaron Yeager turns to the Yeagers and goes, you see, I'm better because the Titans me. I don't need another person to carry the load.
Oh yeah, I love these crossovers. I love them. So yeah, let's do final thoughts on Jumper. Then we'll let Jared go, and then me and Chris will just kind of BS for the rest of the episode.
So could you say they really jumped the gun?
They jumped the James gun.
That doesn't even work because neither of these actors are in any of the DCU movies yet.
Good point.
Yeah, I see what you're trying. Because really, what I was gonna do is, I said that pun. So let's see if I can trick Nick into making the James.
I mean, Diane Lane, kind of.
Well, again, if I were making a sequel to this and Diane Lane was in it again, I would have, can someone just scream out Martha in the background randomly, or someone's watching Batman versus Superman? No. When someone saves her, I'm a friend of your son's, and he's wearing a cape, and she goes, I figured, the cape.
One of these days, I'm going to convince you to come on to an episode where we review Hollywoodland.
No, not interested.
So for those who don't know, Hollywoodland is a story about George Reeves, the Superman TV actor from the 50s. And George Reeves is played by Ben Affleck. Ben Affleck is playing Superman. Okay? Who also played Batman in the Snyderverse. Chris, have you heard of Hollywoodland?
Yep.
And in this movie, George Reeves has an affair with a studio exec's wife, played by Diane Lane. Screw Martha!
Oh God, Nick, why do you?
I could have said that a lot worse. I was gonna drop an F-bomb, but I'm like, no.
Yeah. There you go.
So yeah, Batman sleeps with Martha in this, and it's just. I've asked Jared to do it a lot of times. It's just he finds the film boring, and he doesn't want to do it because to him it's just a meme, and he doesn't want to do it, which I respect. But I'm gonna keep trying to convince him.
Not gonna work.
It doesn't work. That's fine. I'm gonna try. Even if I fail, I'm gonna keep trying. But yeah. So that kind of raises a question: what should be next month? So that's May. We're going into June. We're starting to get into the summer movies.
But anyway, guys, I'm going to run. Nick, it's always a pleasure. I will see you later. Chris, it's always a pleasure. I will see you guys later.
Have a good one, man.
Yeah. Well, that was fun. So, Chris, what are the movies? And chat, feel free to shoot me suggestions for movies. What movies do you think we should review in the coming months?
I don't know. Summer movies?
Yeah, Chronicle is definitely on the table. Like, I could totally do that one. Yeah, we're definitely getting into this like the summer movies. There's still a bunch of movies we haven't covered yet. Let's see here. We've never done any Indiana Jones. We've never done any Lord of the Rings. Let's see here. Have you seen Chronicle?
Yeah, I saw the director's cut too. It's a Max Landis film.
I'm willing to do episode 1, but only if I can get Melee K on here, because I know that's a movie she might show up for. So if she's willing to come on for it, I'll do it in a heartbeat. Because like she's like a big episode 1 fan. If you see me looking over there, that's where my like movies are, and I'm kind of looking at them. John Wick, that might be an option. I haven't done many of the Bond films. Trying to think. Yeah, like summer's a good time because there's like a lot of movies. Let's see here. Have you ever watched Legend?
Yeah, the Tom Cruise film.
Is that one? Are you a fan of that one?
Surprisingly, no. I like the makeup effects on Tim Curry, but the film felt very claustrophobic and it was very overproduced.
I would have thought that would have been a huge inspiration for you.
Yeah, not so much.
Fair enough. I don't really feel like doing A Boy and His Dog would work because that one's a bit too obscure. I mean, yeah, it's partial inspiration for Fallout, but like that's like one of those films that like many people might haven't even heard of it. I'm gonna show his thing. All right.
What about like Iron Giant or something?
That's a fall movie, but yeah, I could see that one. Also, speaking of Iron Giant, so I rewatched Ready Player One recently. And I gotta say, the use of the Iron Giant feels kind of disgusting.
I think all of that stuff was like just dragging our childhood through the mud.
No, but it goes in the complete opposite direction of the themes of Iron Giant. Iron Giant is you don't have to be a gun. And what is Iron Giant in Ready Player One? Essentially a gun.
Yeah.
You know, it feels a bit exploitative. It feels honestly kind of makes me sick.
Well, look what they did to The Shining.
They made it a joke.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't get the hype behind Ready Player One. It was basically nostalgia bait the movie.
No. Ready Player One is key jangling the movie.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, you see the thing? You see the thing you like? Ha. That's all it is. It is. I love a good Easter egg in a movie, but this is just Easter egg the movie. Like this. That's all it is. It's like, hey, look there. Oh, look, there's Tracer from Overwatch. Oh, look, there's Master Chief. Oh, that's Harley Quinn. It's just to spot the key jangle, and I'm just like,
style over substance.
Yeah. And I've read the first book. Do not read the second book. It is, from what I've heard, it is atrocious. I think the book is slightly better. The thing that I didn't appreciate about the movie was in the book, Artemis hides her identity because she has a port wine stain covering like the entire half of her face. Okay. You know, like Two-Face kind of thing, you know? Like half of her face is just red. And she thinks she's ugly. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
And like that's a big plot point. And then in the movie you hire one of the most beautiful women in the world, and you give her like this tasteful little birthmark that she can conveniently hide with her hair.
Yeah.
You know, like come on. Like I'm sorry. There isn't a guy in the world who wouldn't find her beautiful even with that like birthmark, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. It's the Rachel Lee Cook glasses thing.
Oh gosh. Yeah, like I think you're talking about She's All That, the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like even like I've always seen like clips of it, but even in the before, she's really freaking cute in the before.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you gotta make the actresses effable.
Yeah, it's like you remember the show Ugly Betty?
Yeah, America, whatever her name, forever.
Like, I'm sorry, even like Ugly Betty was not that bad looking. Like she was frumpy, but she was still like kind of cute.
Yeah.
I don't know. Sure, in comparison to everyone else, she was ugly, but she was, I don't know. Yes, I'm throwing shade at my twin. Yeah, that's the thing. That's the whole appeal of Ready Player One, and that's the thing that like us nerds have to deal with. Some things are made for the normies. Because like I don't know how many times I've like gone on dates, and like the girls say, "I love Ready Player One." It's normie fodder. That's all it is. It's made for normies. Like for example, go into the comment section of any clip on YouTube, and they'll rightly point out like the whole like Easter egg contest. It would have been solved in a few days if it actually happened in our world.
Well, the fact that it took how long for somebody to go in reverse at the start line?
That would have happened within the first hour.
If first minute, like some jackass gets in there for the first time, yeah, I'm throwing it in reverse.
Well, the whole point was like to go as fast as you can at the wall and kind of trust that you don't zero out. That was kind of the thing. But even then, somebody would have risked it. Like somebody would have hopped on an alt account and did it if they really wanted to, you know. Like also the fact like also the thing of like the whole like zeroing out, losing all your coins, that would not have worked in the real life. There would have been some storage mechanism.
Yeah.
Like maybe you lose all your inventory items, sure, like everything you have on you, but they would have created a bank, or at the very least, you would have to pay for the storage. You know what I'm saying?
It would be a wager system, not like you wouldn't be an inventory. You know, you'd have to wager. I'm entering a game. Here's my 100 coins, and then you know, if you lose, you don't get the 100 coins back.
Yeah, like that's the thing. Like Ready Player One is a video game movie designed by people who have never played video games.
Well, that's why all those Easter eggs and stuff. It's what happens when nerd culture, which is a niche thing, goes mainstream and it gets hijacked by a bunch of like normie assholes. They have no idea what they're even seeing. It's like the Iron Giant thing you just said. They've never even watched Iron Giant, but they know they like it because it's good.
Yeah, like honestly, I appreciated like when you watch Tomorrowland and you see like some Iron Giant posters. I thought that was nice because Brad Bird directed it, and you see some like Iron Giant merchandise. Or you see an Iron Giant poster. I thought, oh, that's cool. I enjoyed that because it was like it fit with the theme of the movie. You know, like Tomorrowland is another one of those like okay-ish movies, but like that was a tasteful call out. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I got 50 credits on winning. Like either that or you have like a bank system, and like if you go out of the safe zone and you get killed, you lose everything on you. You know, kind of like with RuneScape. Because the way RuneScape works is when you go out of safe zone into the wilderness and you get killed, everything you have on you goes to the ground. So like let's say you take your best armor and your best weapons out and go PvPing, and you get killed, you lose all your shit or any money you have on you. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
I imagine that would happen. Also, people would have alt accounts, Smurf accounts. You know, like when you want to throw yourself at something. Like also, like IOI, like for example, IOI was using alt accounts. They were using Smurf accounts as well. Like, why wouldn't other people have alt accounts? You know?
Yeah. Well, there was no internal consistency. That whole world was just fabricated by a poser.
Yeah. You want to know how you could tell it was a poser? Columbus is the biggest city in America.
Yeah. It's just superficiality.
Yeah. I don't know. And also, like, when you realize the entire story is because a guy didn't have the balls to ask a girl to dance. That's the entire crux of the narrative. Is he took a girl on a date, never kissed her or whatever, and that ruined his life.
Yeah, the plot was so dumb. It was like this loser is like deified by everyone. Like, oh, he's the great. It's like you're a freaking loser, buddy. Like,
there's no way someone like Holiday would be at the head of the company. Like Ogden was the Jobs of the pair. Like they tried to portray it like a Holiday was a Jobs and Murray was a Wozniak.
mm-hmm.
No, it was actually the other way around.
Yeah.
Like Ogden very clearly was more socially inclined, more business savvy, and Holiday was the creative type. Holiday was the Woz. You know, and like the Woz was the one who forced the other person out of the company by sheer genius. That never would have happened. That never would have happened. Like Holiday is clearly he's a freaking genius. But so was Jobs. Jobs was a genius, and even he got ousted from his own company.
Yeah. Well, it's a business first and foremost, and if you're a creator, you're not. You mean you could have business skills, but you're not a businessman. You know.
Yeah, but in reality, Holiday would have been the one forced out of the company if that scenario would have happened.
It's why Tesla died penniless. Has nothing to do with how good you are at creating.
Well, he married a pigeon, so I don't know what to say. Honestly, like if Tesla had actually invented half of the stuff that people credited him for, imagine what the world would have been like if like that stuff, like the wireless electricity concept.
Oh yeah, he did have that broadcast energy. Yeah, the Vardenclef towers. It could be weaponized, so they had to shut it down.
Yeah, I think he'd like destroyed a whole forest with it or something.
Well, when we were doing the Assassin's Creed stuff, that was the Tunguska event, was a Vardenclef tower in Russia.
You're talking about the meteor in like 1913?
Yeah, that was in the Assassin's Creed timeline universe, Nikola Tesla's Vardenclef tower was used as a direct energy weapon. That it wasn't actually a meteorite; it was a broadcast energy blast. And that was like, oh shit, they've got the power to do this. We need to shut this down. And that's why they burned the towers.
You know what's really scary?
What's that?
That meteor that hit Russia.
Mm-hmm.
If that had hit any populated, like like that meteor, I think was enough to like destroy, like just obliterate New York City.
Well, it would be enough to obliterate the entire eastern seaboard. The one that hit Tunguska, yeah, that was bigger than New York and New Hampshire.
Yeah, like we are lucky it landed in bumfuck nowhere, Russia.
Yeah. Well, that's why we're lucky we have the moon. The moon is our kind of dodgeball shield. All those craters on it, it's kind of intercepting a lot of shit coming at us.
Yeah, and then also like the other thing about the moon is the tides are respondent to the moon.
Yep.
So like we move the moon an inch in its orbit, we could literally fuck up our ecosystem.
Oh yeah, and it is moving. It's moving slowly, further and further away every year.
Yeah. Like, did you hear of the UK's plans to like blot out the sun?
Yeah, that's a war crime. If they do that, we're going to war.
That is that. I'm sorry. That is like a cartoonishly levels
Yeah.
of evil.
That's a Mr. Burns move. I mean, that's absolutely stupid.
Mr.
There's
Burns move.
There's
Yeah.
literally no good reason to do that. The scientists have already proven that the globe is not warming; it's actually cooling, and that's why these grifters have changed the tune from global warming to climate change.
No, it's not even that anymore. It's climate crisis. They shifted the term again.
Oh God, yeah. As somebody that
See,
grew up in the '70s, acid
yeah,
rain.
for me, I grew up. It was global warming in the '90s. It was global warming.
The ozone.
Ozone. Yeah. Like I remember that. Like I remember elementary school, like '95. I always taught that. But it was global warming. You got to help, or the greenhouse effect. The greenhouse effect was another one.
Yeah. Yeah, well, when I mean, in the '70s, it was we're going back into a new ice age, and then in the early '80s, it was acid rain. It's always something. These people are scumbags. Like none of this is happening. It's all a hoax.
Do you remember when The Day After Tomorrow came out? And like all the climate science was like, this could happen in 10 years if we don't do anything.
30 years ago. 30 years ago, they said in 10 years we'd be underwater, and yet Plymouth Rock is still in the exact same spot it was 300 years ago.
Or like I think it's actually improving. The ozone is actually healing.
Yeah.
Now, to be fair, that could be a result of the fact that we have reduced greenhouse emissions. That could be the thing. Because like I feel like some like some ecological stuff. Like I don't want companies putting chemicals in our water. You know, just dumping all their sludge into our river.
Too late.
Like,
Yeah.
fair, but there needs to be some protections. Like I believe the EPA has this thing, but like the whole everything just gets blown up proportion. You know
Well,
what I'm saying?
all that climate stuff is a hoax. You know it's a hoax because all this attack on the developed world about they got to cut back on their what makes them economically viable. We got to cut back on all that stuff and make things inconvenient. Nobody ever talks about like China or India, these countries that are the chief polluters of the world.
Yeah,
Paper straws.
for example, I remember back in the mid 2010s, because like I'm a guitarist and I like rosewood fingerboards on my guitars, and they actually started imposing import restrictions on rosewood. The problem is the guitars weren't the problem; it was the Chinese furniture makers who were using all the rosewood.
Mm.
So because of the Chinese furniture makers, it is impossible to find a rosewood fingerboard on a lower end guitar. Like the higher end stuff, you can find rosewood all day long. Like the 1500 guitars, yeah, you can get them in rosewood. But like that guitar back there, I bought it for $150. It was like a $400 guitar new. That has rosewood on it. That's like probably one of the last guitars that have rosewood on it. You know what I'm saying?
Damn. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Lucky.
I just remember the paper straw fiasco where they're like, "Oh, the Pacific Ocean is being polluted," and it's like, yeah, from 3 rivers, one in India, one in Africa, and one in China. How is that Californians' problem?
Also, do you remember like the news announcement? Like a guy had developed a device to hack, like, because if you go to a certain part of the ocean, it's just thousands of miles of trash.
Yeah, islands of it. Yeah.
A guy literally made a machine to help clean that up. It was
Yep.
like in the news cycle for like a few days, then it got buried.
Yeah. Yeah. It's because it's like all that ego stuff is like Greta Thunberg there, the fetal alcohol syndrome girl. Like that's a hoax. Like it's all bullshit.
Yeah, it's just like the cancer industry. It's like all these fundraisers, all these awareness campaigns. There's more money in treatment than there is in curing it.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what our whole health care system is like that. They'll never.
California has been coasting. Oh. All right, can you hear me?
Yeah. Yeah. That was weird.
Yeah. I just kind of reconnected. That was kind of odd. California has been coasting off of its past successes and its resources and its natural beauty and its climate for like the past 30 years. And it's catching up to them.
Yeah, well, that and they lost the only thing they had. Their only redeeming export was culture. I mean, everybody knew who Hollywood was. You know, hell, Saving Private Ryan. You know, they capture a Nazi, and he's all like, "Yeah, good. You know, got the gobbles, the gams. Oh yeah, yeah," and all that stuff. Like, well, because our culture has been co-opted and turned into crap, we aren't even exporting culture anymore. So the one industry that California was viable with, it's no more. They don't have anything.
I mean, and the other things it is viable for, like California has some really good farmland. Napa Valley competes on the world stage of wine. Like Napa Valley wine is world class. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And they're losing out because of all the green crap. Like all of our agriculture, all that green stuff is just an attack on our agriculture. Over in Europe, you got the Dutch over in the Netherlands.
Oh, the farmer protest.
Yeah, because they're trying to start famines. They're trying to kill us off. They're trying to starve us, reduce our population, and you do that through famine. That's why they're trying to blot the sun out. What is the sun? What good will be blotting the sun out? You know, it's only going to do one thing. It's going to make it so that crops don't grow.
You want to know the most real? Have you seen the movie, the one with Chris Evans where he's on the train?
Yeah, Snowpiercer.
You want to know the most realistic part of that movie?
What's that?
Is where in order to cool the Earth down, they seed the atmosphere with these chemicals that create a endless winter. That is the most realistic portion. Not because of the chemicals, but because I could see politicians doing that.
Yeah, well, there's literally no good coming from blotting out the sun. Even the normies are like, this is the stupidest freaking thing I've ever heard of.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, anybody that's involved in the UK doing that stuff, because it's not going to just screw up the UK. It's going to hit us too. It's going to hit everyone. That's a war crime. Like, those people are guilty of war crimes.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, I just see these things coming to the head. Like, did you see that judge that's getting arrested because it was they were harboring like a bunch of like criminals?
Yeah, yeah. I know. I got in an argument with my sister about that.
I think we're gonna see things come to a head with a lot of these activist judges.
I hope so, because we're looking at where President Trump was like withholding like federal aid to sanctuary cities because sanctuary cities are basically violating federal law. And some judge in San Francisco like overturned it, and it's like, I'm sorry, I didn't realize a judge could overturn the will of the American people who voted for this.
Now, did it go to the Supreme Court, and did they just like investigate themselves, find nothing wrong, kind of thing?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. But did you notice as soon as they shut down USAID, all this crap we started to unwind? Like, as soon as they shut down, like, Just Stop Oil. Like, oh, we accomplished our mission. We're going to shut down as soon as the USAID.
Yeah, because they were stealing American taxpayers' money and using it against us. You know, we have been at war. We've been in a color revolution for over 50 years, probably 60 years. You know, maybe even longer than that. But we've been at war, and they're using our money against us.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm glad that they're finally taking the food dyes out of the food. Like, I'll like somebody showed a picture of the Fruit Loops, and it was all gray and dingy, and then they showed like the fluorescent ones, and they're like, which one would you rather eat? And I'm like, the one that won't give me cancer.
You know what I'm waiting for is you notice there has been no talk about banning high fructose corn syrup. The one thing that would help out Americans a lot.
Yes, and a very lot of like. It's because there's corn subsidies given to farmers, and there's all sorts of kickbacks. And unfortunately, high fructose corn syrup is deadly. It is like even Gillian Anderson or Gillian Michaels was saying it. You know, that hot lesbian who's like a fitness guru.
Yeah.
She's like, when did morbid obesity become a sign of poverty? Like, that doesn't make any sense. And it's because of things like endocrine disruption high fructose corn syrup. It's a complex sugar that the body can't break down. I mean, hell, a rattlesnake can't even digest corn.
Yeah, so like I think banning high fructose corn syrup would have a huge
would.
knock. Because like the soda companies would just instantly switch to sugar, instantly. Like, all right, let's bring out the Mexican Coke recipes. All right, let's just get the sugar. Like we're making Mexican Coke in this Columbus, Ohio plant anyway, so we're just doing all that now.
Suddenly, weight loss starts happening because you're drinking fewer Cokes.
Or the people who they're drinking the same, but it's healthier for them, so they're not ingesting high fructose corn syrup. So like even though their consumption is the same, they're still dropping weight, and because everything, like all the high fructose corn syrup is gone from like the candy and everything. Yeah. And also this will affect the land, because if farmers aren't producing enough corn, they'll produce other crops.
Yeah, I know my ex, who was from Germany, she was ripping me a new one time when she's like, everything in your house is like poisonous. It's like all candy. I'm like, what do you mean? She's like, even your bread tastes like dessert. And it was like just a loaf of bread for sandwiches. Like everything's got high fructose corn syrup in it.
Yeah. And because the thing about corn when it comes to farming is corn is very hard on soil.
Yes, it is.
Like corn really drains the nutrients. Like that's why farmers have to rotate. Like you can't do corn 2 seasons in a row.
Yeah, you'll get fallow land.
Yeah. So I think if they're doing less corn, we actually might have more productive yields for a lot of other stuff. I think it'd be interesting.
Well, I mean, the cost of things would go up if we're like the only reason why they use corn or high fructose corn syrup is because it's a cheap substitute for like sugar, because cane sugar is harder to reproduce.
It's like, you want to know why Americans eat so much cheese? Like that's another thing that Europeans like to joke about us. Is like it's because milk is subsidized so much to the point that we had to put it into cheese. That's why cheese is everywhere in America, and why cheese is so insanely cheap in America. I mean, I love cheese. I freaking love cheese. I put it in everything. But the reason why Americans eat a lot of cheese is because it's cheap, it's plentiful.
Yeah, I would be interested to see what would happen if it was like a switch and suddenly high fructose corn syrup was no longer viable. Because that's the killer. That's the one where we go to the inner city in these food deserts. We see these people that have no incomes and they're subsidized, they're subsisting off of American or like basically like social services, and they're like 400 pounds. And it's like, wait a minute, you're starving. How are you 400 pounds?
And see, this is a problem I had when we had that whole, like, you notice how the debate over like the soda ban was like a week and 2 weeks, and then it just disappeared. I knew that was going to happen because it's such a cheap argument. Like the problem, like should people be drinking so much soda? No, but that's not the crux of the problem. The problem is, like you said, and I'm one of these people. We don't have access to high quality food.
Yeah,
the money they give us and the food that's available, like quality food is expensive, and also a lot of Americans don't have the cooking skills. Like basically, your average single guy can maybe cook like 2 or 3 things, and those are the meals they can cook. Everything else is just keep throw in the oven. Like I can make tacos, I can make spaghetti, I can make scrambled eggs. Like there are a few things I can eat. I can make pancakes. But everything else I just throw in the oven or microwave or whatever. There needs to be like more access to good quality food, and also more instructions on how to properly prepare food.
Well, like if they put a ban on like soft drinks or whatever for WIC or whatever the government funding or tax funded stuff is, like you go to a food desert that has like a bodega and like that's all they sell. So you literally have these people that go in and they're like, yeah, none of this shit works here. I can't buy any food here.
Yeah.
Like that's terrible.
Yeah, like even if they had a point about the soda,
Mm-hmm.
it's attacking the symptom and not the cause. You know,
Yeah.
it's a cheap, easy win. You know, it's like and this is such a hyperbole comparison, but it's the best I can think of. It's like a school shooting happens and you blame video games.
Yeah. Not like that would ever happen. Yeah.
Oh. I once saw a post about how like hysterias go in like 8-year cycles, and I'm like, kind of, but not really, because like I remember Trump made a video game combination because like there was a shooting during his administration, and I remember he condemned video games. I was like, you mother effer. You know somebody told him to say that. You know that.
Well, I think that once the boomers die out, you know, and the Gen Xers start coming in, like JD Vance, you know, you got people that grew up.
JD Vance is a millennial, I believe.
Oh my God.
Yeah, you guys got skipped. There was a millennial vice president. See, like, the problem with Gen X is they're becoming the new boomers. That's kind of the problem. Like, instead of what?
We were always the abandoned generation. We were called the latchkey kids. We had to teach ourselves how to do everything.
Yeah, I do have a lot of sympathy. I'm an elder millennial myself, so like I have a lot in common with you guys. But I am not like we grant you a position, like you are on this council. We not grant you the rank of master. You know, that's how I see it. You know, like I'm a kind of like a semi Gen X, but you know whatever. See, what's really crazy is millennial starts in '83. Okay, so like no, I think it starts in '81.
I thought it was 1980.
Yeah. Mile range years 81 to 96. So my oldest sister was born in 80, so she's technically Gen X. And then my middle sister was born in 83. So just imagine somebody born in 81. Like, I'm sorry, if you're born in 81, you're Gen X. Like, that is a Gen X thing. You know? I don't know. It just feels like I object. We're not okay. I actually really agree with this statement. Because I do feel like there is kind of a divide in millennials between like the younger and the older. Because the younger millennials are just proto Gen Z.
The Zillennials.
Yeah, because growing up we were Gen Y. But like the millennials that were born, age range is 81 to 96. So like the ones born in like the early to mid 90s, they're basically prototype Zoomers in my opinion. Whereas like my version of millennials are a lot closer to Gen X. Like for example, I was 10 years old when my parents got internet in 97, you know. Someone born in 95, they would have had internet from like when they were 4 years old or whatever, you know, because like everyone's online by 2002 at least, you know. You know, so the experience is vastly different. Like for example, my like cell phones weren't really a thing till I was kind of 13 years old. You know, like cell phones weren't really common didn't start to become common until 2000. Even though they existed since the 70s. Would you agree?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't get my first one until I was in my 20s.
I didn't get mine until like I was 18, 2006. Mine was like a track phone. It was like it was like a little brick phone. That I was 18.
Yeah, I had that Sprint flip phone or the whatever it is, the clamshell.
I miss flip phones. I never really. I think I've had a couple myself. Like honestly, like I remember when I was in high school, if you had a Motorola Razr, you like that was the iPhone from of the mid 2000s. You know.
You remember texting, where you'd see people like it'd take like 20 minutes just to type hello because you're like tap 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 tap.
That's why you had the text speak CUL8. Yeah. Like for example, this. See you later.
Yeah.
Like that's why we had that text, because it was such a pain in the ass to like put stuff out there.
Man, we used to use numbers too.
911. The only one who had cells in the early 90s was my grandmother. She was a realtor.
Oh,
yeah. The car phones, like that was kind of a thing in the 90s. Having a car phone,
big corded thing.
Yeah, because like because those things are so huge, the only way to really make it work was in a car.
Yeah. Well, even then, like people would carry it around. It'd be like a lunchbox, and it'd have this cord coming from the lunchbox to the phone.
Yeah, I remember those. But yeah, I remember some of those first phones were like huge. Like, you remember like Saved by the Bell? Him having a cell phone was kind of a big deal in that show.
Yeah, I think it's like a VHS cassette. He'd slam up against the side of his face.
But yeah, it wasn't really until the 2000s where like the technology got small and affordable enough where everyone kind of started getting cell phones. Like I remember that explosion. It was a pretty interesting time.
I would say the worst thing for humanity was around the time that Facebook and the iPhone came out, and that pretty much doomed us.
I think the thing that like the true cultural shift was the iPhone.
Yeah.
Like it's one thing to have a cell phone, like that was kind of a cultural shift, but to literally have a device where like you could be out on the street and like, what was the price of hams in 1936? You could literally look it up on your phone in an instant. Here is an example. Let's say you're a video game hunter, and like you can go to a garage sale. You see a copy of Crash Bandicoot for the PlayStation 1. You're like, I wonder if that's a good price. So you literally go on your phone and look it up right there.
Yeah.
Like
I remember connection.
What?
Everybody is constantly connected.
Yeah.
And we can't disconnect anymore, so we become psychotic.
I feel like there's been a slowly growing movement to kind of shift away from that, where people are starting to put up boundaries, and I'm all for it, honestly.
Yeah. Well, my boss told me to turn off my my messaging from work after the end of the day. I thought that was a really smart, nice thing to do. It's like, you get a text message from, a foreign team or whatever that needs something at 3 a.m. on a Sunday. You tell them to go F themselves. So that's always good to hear.
Yeah, like that was kind of the problem with a lot of bosses. They wanted you on call 24/7. They didn't want to pay you for it.
Well, yeah, and you need to disconnect, otherwise you're going to burn out.
Yeah, I think we're starting to see a shift towards that, like the whole touch grass movement, where like I think like people have just been like, I feel it myself because like I'm a very sedentary person. Like I'm constantly just here sitting on my ass on my computer. I sometimes just get antsy. I just want to get out there, and so I just like walk around town. Sometimes literally just walking to the store and buying a pop can be enough for me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I kind of miss that. I miss not having everything at my fingertips and having to go out and look for it or to be sociable. Like, I don't have to be sociable at all. I can literally get whatever I want and never leave my house.
Yeah, I've tried some of like the Uber Eats stuff. I don't see the point. Why would I pay an extra $20 to have someone deliver my stuff and where it's usually cold? And also you run the risk of them just eating something, drinking your pop. Like, if I'm transporting my pop and I spill it, that's my fault. I was stupid. But if somebody else does it, then it's their fault. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, I just mean that, like, I don't have to really do anything outside of my own little, like, microcosm anymore. I have my very limited range of movement, and I don't know. It's almost like everything's designed to be that way now. They don't want people moving around anymore.
They're trying, but like I don't know. Like I still feel like we're kind of like shifting back towards more of like an experience thing of like going out, not necessarily bars. I mean, there are kind of bars, drinking establishments, but also just like other places to go, because humans have this innate desire to gather, to socialize, and that's not something you can advertise a way out of us. You can't like, there's no amount of commercials, there's no amount of social pressure. You can, it's like the children yearn for the minds kind of thing. I mean, it's like it, no matter how hard you try, there's just certain stuff about humans that you can't get away from us.
Mm. Well, it's like, look at our entertainment now. Like, movie theaters are going to die out in another 5-10 years.
They very well could. It really depends. But the thing is, here's the thing about movie theaters. Movie theaters are not going to die because people don't want to go to movies. It's that fact is proven wrong. Every time they release a movie that people want to go see, it does well. Well, Minecraft movie is on track to make $1 billion. Deadpool and Wolverine. Like, there are still films that do well, and these are films that people want to see. The problem is Hollywood isn't producing films that people want to see.
Yeah, I've got a 75-inch TV with surround sound and a comfy couch, and I don't have screaming brats getting up to take a piss or play the arcades. I don't need like, my theater experience is vastly superior. You're like, oh, well, you're not good. Like, I don't care.
Yeah,
I don't like sitting in a seat I don't want to be in.
That's the problem when you have friends who have kids. Because, like, I remember this one time, they released Terminator 2 in 4K in theaters.
Mm-hmm.
Terminator 2, 4K in theaters. Like, that sounds awesome, right?
Mm.
So I wanted to go see it. And me and a friend were going to go see it. We were about to go. But then his wife made their son come with us because he was screaming his head off that he wanted to go. So instead of going to see Terminator, we went and saw Spider-Man Homecoming, a movie that I had already seen. I'm like, okay, fine. I'm still going out the movie with my friend. 75% of the movie, they were out in the lobby and I was alone.
Yeah.
So what was, let's go see Terminator 2, turned into me sitting in a movie theater by myself, watching a movie that I thought was okay for the second time. And when I try to complain, they're like, oh, you don't know how hard it is to have kids. Well, maybe put your goddamn foot down.
Well, like, even without your kids, it's always somebody else's kid. Like, if you go to an urban area, there's always like black people fighting. You know what I mean?
We're not going there. We're not going there.
Did you see the?
We are not going there. We're not going there.
Going where?
I don't want to make this a race thing.
It's not a race thing. It's a cultural thing, dude. And this is why people don't want to go to movie theaters, because there's fights breaking out and shit. I just want to sit down and watch a movie. I don't give a shit about somebody else's damage. I think it was the Disney mermaid thing there.
Oh yeah.
And it's like, this is a kids movie. Why are there people violently beating the shit out of each other at a kids movie? Man.
I don't know. Yeah, like we were taught, like, that's the other thing. Like a lot of these, like, there's kind of like a pollution of reaction culture. Like, if you go to a movie theater, there's always these people who want to just film themselves reacting to a moment in a movie for like their TikToks, kind of thing.
Narcissism.
Yeah, they do their best Kevin Smith impression and sneak in some Visine beforehand.
Oh God.
That was a pot shot. But yeah, like the Minecraft movie making $1 billion, like the whole chicken jockey thing, that is a weird phenomenon. Not entirely unexpected,
I honestly,
I feel bad for the theater porters who had to clean up that shit.
dude. I've grown to despise the consumer with the double O's because all of this, like, I don't know, like, oh, this is a major success. It's made a lot of money. Blah 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 blah. It's like, yeah, and it's complete crap. Like, it's trash. Yeah, like look at the Nintendo Switch thing. You know, people are like, dude, this thing's too expensive. $80 games. It's ridiculous.
Everything we warn about it is coming true.
Yeah,
Like the whole game character art thing is like, both you and me, we called it. Like, oh, companies are just like, oh, not every game is going to come on a game card. Yes, that's true, but 75 to 80% of game cards are coming on a game card.
You're not going to own games anymore, and all these consumers went out and pre-ordered the hell out of these things. That's why I made that stupid marked safe from being ripped off from pre-ordering a Nintendo Switch 2 thing, because I'm so sick of it. Like, they have no impulse.
Here's my problem with the Switch, Switch 2. Okay, the Switch 1 was successful because of value. It was cheaper. It was the perfect secondary console, and also, that's why companies release the Switch version 3 to 6 months after the version, because they want people to double dip, and a lot of people did. And the thing is, you are more tolerant. Like, oh, Witcher 3, it doesn't run as well on the Switch, but it runs good enough, and it's portable, Like, you were willing to give it more of a leeway, because it's like, oh my god, this is a chip set for 2015, and it's running The Witcher 3, and it's 30 frames per second. It looks barely okay, but that was amazing. Now, you have, like, see, and this is the problem is, the Switch 2 is so powerful, it's knocking on the door of the main consoles. They're treating it like it's like, oh, we're in the big boys now. We see, guys, we are on par with the PS5 and Xbox Series X, and we are priced accordingly.
Well, they're charging more than the PS5 and the Xbox Series X. Neither of those two consoles have $80 games
yet.
Yeah, and well, now they will. Now they'll have $100 games. Why not? Because all these morons went out and pre-ordered this stuff. These are the same jackasses that made it possible for horse armor, and why you have to pay a monthly extortion fee to access peer-to-peer multiplayer games. These morons with no freaking impulse control that are all about the FOMO just financially rewarded anti-consumer bullshit, and now we all have to suffer for it.
See, the problem is, as a person who owned like a PC and a Switch, I often had to make the choice: where am I buying this? PC or PC or the Switch. The only reason I would buy something on the Switch is if it was a physical copy that had everything. Like, for example, Suikoden 1 and 2. I bought on the Switch because it's Suikoden 1 and 2, and it's on the cart. Like, I actually own Suikoden, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's worth it to me. Like, I'm probably going to buy the Lunar Collection on the Switch because that comes on the cart, you know what I'm saying? And I might actually start buying other Switch games that have, like, these kind of collections on the cart because they're on the cart and I own them, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Otherwise, I'm better off just buying them for the Steam Deck, for Steam, because I have a Steam Deck and it runs them better.
Well, not only that, but it's more portable too, because say that Steam Deck dies and you get a Steam Deck 2 or 3 or whatever, or a new gaming PC. You don't have to worry about some stupid transfer cable or like hook. Like, have you ever seen what it takes to switch to like move all of your data from like a 3DS to a new 3DS or like a Switch?
And then like the Switch 1 and 2 stuff is insanely convoluted.
It's stupid. It's anti-consumer, and I can't blame the corporations anymore. I used to be upset and be like, these corporations, these greedy asshole corporations, ruined my hobby. They turned everything into season passes and map packs and on-disc DLC and all this crap. Like, no, it's not them. They're just reacting to a business. It's the consumers. They're the morons that spoke with their money and said, I will buy this terrible shit, and they ruined it for everybody.
Here's the thing. The Steam Deck 2, I would pay $600 to $800 for a Steam Deck 2. You want to know why?
Because it'll be powerful.
It'll be powerful, But here's the other thing: games will be cheap.
Yep.
Because that's the problem. Is if like Nintendo discounted their games over time, I might be able to justify $450.
Mm-hmm.
Like if it was like the games in the cart, and they actually started like pricing their games down,
Mm-hmm.
then maybe you can justify the $450. Like maybe.
Yeah, high up front, low long term.
Yeah, like that. Like for example, a $70 game, I'll buy it for $30 in 2 to 3 years. You know, whatever. I don't care.
Same
like
here.
For example, I'll probably buy Final Fantasy Remake when it hits $30. That game's worth $30. If you know, for $30, that's not a bad deal.
And you'll get the complete game too, all the DLC and everything. Yeah.
And here's the other reason I like PC. There's no generations, like you kind of stated earlier.
Yeah.
And this is the other thing I was arguing with people. It's like, you can still download Wii games. Like, yeah, but for how long? You know, like that's like that argument that just like they can't comprehend. Sooner or later, Nintendo will flip the switch.
Yep.
And
all those game keys or those key cards or whatever the hell they're selling for the Switch too be freaking worthless.
Oh, did you hear? EA decided to be extra cunty, and they put a game code in their box for FIFA.
Yeah.
They Nintendo did a scumbag move. EA was like, hold my beer. I would have been even scummier.
Yeah. But here's the thing is they're scummy, but I can't blame them. I can't blame them anymore because morons will buy it. People with more money than brains are supporting this. If people didn't buy this shit and they had some level of willpower and they were like, you know what, maybe I don't need an $80 Mario Kart game. The $50 one I have that's 10 years old will suffice. No, instead they gotta.
I would have said no, but the like this last week's discourse on Andor has been eye-opening of just how low these shills will go.
Yeah.
So for those who don't know, Andor Season 2 just dropped, and they include a scene of rectual assault.
Yeah, grapefruit.
Let's just call it grapefruit. You know, like I'm trying not to get trip up the auto detect or whatever.
Mm.
And the amount of people defending this as like, oh, it's okay to include these kind of like, I'm sorry, like we're like do you remember in Game of Thrones when they had Sansa marry Ramsay and he did that to her? The amount of uproar over that. Do you remember that?
That
controversy?
Yeah.
Those same people are now saying it's okay to do it because of Star Wars.
Well, these are also the same people that said, calm down about the sexuality or whatever in your Star Wars because it's just a what is it, a TV series for space wizards for kids or whatever. And it's like, you can't use that argument anymore.
Just wait till we have full frontal nudity in Star Wars.
Yeah,
like we start to see some boobs.
Stupid. It's so stupid. Like, well, I actually had a friend once argue the point. It's Disney. What do you expect? Like, are you really upset that Disney?
I expect Mickey Mouse, not Minnie Mouse's tits.
Yeah, like I stopped financially supporting Disney years ago. Like their stuff is garbage. It's demoralization propaganda. It's not for me. They've clearly made that obvious that I don't want to see the rainbow stuff. I don't want to see the blackwash stuff. I don't want to see the girl boss stuff. Mm-hmm. But that's all they offer now. So I'm like, you know what? I'm taking my business elsewhere. But people are still, making 10 long episode series YouTube videos about how Kathleen Kennedy is going to get fired or whatever. And it's like,
yeah. It just keeps it's still circulating. I'm like, guys. Yeah. Also, did you hear like a Star Wars celebrations? You think suddenly Star Wars fans, oh god, remember no one hates Star Wars more than Star Wars. Like I think in their mind it's like, okay, we successfully banished all the toxic people from Star Wars. Now everyone that's left is cool.
Okay. My thing, they're like, oh, I guess you were never a fan. I guess not. I don't care. Like, Call me whatever you want.
I love the Star Wars that I remember.
Yeah.
I am still a fan of the Star Wars of my youth. The Star Wars that I love. It ended in 2005.
Yeah, there's some great Star Wars video games. The trilogy is really good. You know, even the Clone Wars series, that was great. But like, I don't care. Like, it's not even like hatred or anger anymore. I just don't care.
And that's the problem. And that's the problem. Like, we're reaching that, like, the opposite of love is not hate, it's apathy. And that's where you have gotten. And that's the thing. Star Wars has been like living off of the hatred for a long time. Like the whole grapefruit thing. It's rage bait. That's all it is. They wanted people talking, and you know what? They did their job. So I'm going to give them some kudos. They wanted people talking. Well, kudos. You got people. Congratulations. You got people talking.
Well, I am just tired of hearing people who hate on the thing continually watching it. It's like, you know, it's crap. We both know it's crap. Why are you continually watching this? Because it's my job. Your job is to complain about stuff that we all know is crap.
Yeah, like what was that? I think there was this one reviewer who was like, you know what? I'm gonna stop reviewing this show because I don't like it and I don't want to watch something I hate. I don't remember who that was.
Well,
did
James
you see that?
Rolfe did that. Yeah, James Rolfe did that about Ghost.
Oh, remember? Oh, yeah, and like how much hate he got for that. How dare you choose not to watch something?
And the dude deserves mad respect for his stance, because he said exactly what you just said. He's like, why would I put myself through this? I know it's going to be crap.
Yeah, you know? like the same thing for me for the Switch too. It's not for me. There's no games that interest me. The hardware itself looks intriguing. Everything about it is disgusting. Yeah. But if you're a person where you're excited for the Switch, or even if you got a pre-order, I'm happy for you. I am legit happy for you, because you got something you wanted, and I hope you enjoy it.
Just don't complain about your finances. Don't complain about how the gaming industry is going to crap. You have no right to say that anymore, because you supported that. You told Nintendo.
If they buy the Switch 2 and they grow to regret it, they're allowed to regret it, in my opinion.
Yeah, but I mean, it's these people that, like, they buy the latest thing, and they're chasing all these expensive, terrible business, you know, the anti-consumer stuff. And then they go around and complain about how they don't have enough money. You know, my bills are getting hard to pay and this and that. And it's like, dude, you just bought a $500 Switch and an $80 video game. You have no room to complain anymore. Like, your obliviousness is astounding. You know, so it's frustrating, because it's not only did these people ruin it for themselves, like, you know, and it's not my business what you do with your money. I don't care. But when it affects me, I care. And this is sending a message to the industry saying $80 video games, $90. You know that GTA 6 is probably going to be $100.
I'm sure there's going to be an edition that's like $100, $200. There's 1,000% chance. There, like, here's what I suspect is going to happen. GTA 6 is going to be $80, but they're going to have like $150 or $200 special edition where you can play it a week early.
Oh God!
Because I guarantee you they'll do that, because GTA 6 is so hyped up. There are people who will pay $1,000 to play GTA 6 a week early, and they know that. So they could get away with charging a $200 edition that lets you play it a week early. Maybe get you some extra goodies.
Well,
they will do that. They will have a $150, $200 collector's edition.
The weirdo collector's editions aren't what bother me, because those are whale targets. Like, those are for stupid people.
The problem I have is when collector editions don't have the like we've had collector editions that have game codes, and we're even starting to get collector editions that don't even have the game in. I'm sorry, that's just a
digital collectors.
That's not even a collector edition. That's not even a collector edition box. That's just a tchotchke box.
Well, my thing is I don't care about the collector's editions and how stupidly overpriced they are, because I'll never buy that crap, and it doesn't affect me. It's when the base game is $80. When you tell the industry that you're fully, like, they did it to $70. I bought one $70 game in my lifetime, and I'll never buy another one. And that was that stupid Tears of the Kingdom that I wasted that crap on. That was a glorified DLC. You know?
I tried to play it on emulator. The problem I had with Tears of the Kingdom is it had too much of focus on crafting. They went way too far from what made Breath of the Wild was all about discovery. It was like the wonder, and that is Zelda.
Yeah.
And I know some people didn't like the weapon decoration. I loved it because it forced me to constantly rotate my weapons. I wasn't always swinging a sword, and there was like, I have to use this weapon. Like there was a little bit of a okay, I got this really good weapon. I'm just never going to use it because I don't want to wear it out. There was a little bit of that, that's kind of stupid. But like, there's an easy way to solve that. Like, what you do is you can gather ores for a round, and at like in towns and in stables, you could repair your weapons. Like, have it not be readily available, but just give you an option to repair some of your good weapons. I think that would have mitigated a lot of the problems.
I 100% agree.
Like, not have it always available, because then why have weapon integration to begin with? But have it in like select areas, like the stables or whatever, and then the towns. There's like a forge, where you can repair your weapons. I think like that would add a whole like dynamic to the game. Plus, you'll be using a lot of your good weapons a lot more because you can repair them.
Well, I would also add it a step further. If you've got this amazing cooking system where you throw ingredients together and you create stuff, and you have to go to like cooking pot sections, just have an anvil in the town and throw your sword on the anvil and like a fire or whatever, and
do what Skyrim does: have an anvil and an armor station.
Yeah, and like, so it's like, okay, it costs 10 rupees, 6 diamonds, and 1, I don't know, whatever, and boom, your Royal Claymore will be back at 100. And not make it some abstract thing, literally show like hearts or something on your weapon, just like your health.
And if you wanted to make it so that every time you repaired it, it got more expensive to the point where you couldn't afford to fix it, then sure, like that's fine, because at that point, and they even had a system like that in the game, the royal weapons. If they broke, you went back to the person and I made you a new one. Like, there was already, the system is in the game.
Yeah. Well, what made it worse is in Tears of the Kingdom, they exacerbated the weapon degradation because they wanted you to like fuse everything, and they didn't give you an ability to do any kind of offense. So unlike in Breath of the Wild, when you ran out of weapons, you could just throw bombs to defend yourself. You couldn't do that in Tears of the Kingdom. You were literally playing basically an accountant, and everything was a cost-benefit analysis. Every combat situation was, do I want to lose this weapon or do I want to break this thing?
Yeah, so and like the thing I loved about Breath of the Wild was there was oftentimes more than one way to approach the situation. So let's say you have this camp of moblins, you could go in there, sword blazing, kill everybody. Or let's say you have they got some explosive barrels lying around. You take a fire arrow, you wait till they get close, shoot the arrow. Or let's say there's a boulder at the top of the hill, you just push the boulder and do that.
Yeah.
Like that's why Breath of the Wild was so amazing. It had complexity in simplicity. Yeah. Like there were simple tools, but it allowed you to think of them in so many different ways, the creativity and way you could approach situations. Like the also thing is, I love that it trusted you to like, yeah, you could go and kill everybody, but if you wanted to be creative about it, you could. The problem with Tears of the Kingdom is you had to be creative. Because you wanted to play Zelda and just like hack everyone to death, you can do it and have a great time. But if you wanted to be like tricky and like those cool tricks, like the guy who went from the Great Plateau directly to Ganon, using the time stop ability. Yeah, like I love the game. It's like, yeah, you just got the Great Plateau. You want to go straight to Ganon? Go straight to Ganon. He's gonna be hard as balls, but he's doable.
Yeah. Well, the best part is that Breath of the Wild wasn't $70. Like Tears of the Kingdom was a retread of Breath of the Wild. It felt like DLC, and you got to pay $70 for this piece of crap.
And here's the problem: is there is no Breath of the Wild for the Switch 2.
Nope.
Like, there's only really 2 viable games for the Switch 2: Donkey Kong and Mario Kart.
Yep.
Mario Kart, it's open world. Like, that's not enough of innovation.
Yeah.
Donkey Kong,
is it even fun?
Donkey Kong, it's Donkey Kong. It's probably fun.
Yeah, it looks
but it's
good.
Donkey Kong. That is not a marquee, like remember the early Switch days? Oh, it's a Breath of the Wild machine. And you all know what? That was fine. Because Breath of the Wild had so much content. People could afford to play nothing else but Breath of the Wild for like the first 3 months.
Mm-hmm.
That is how they avoided a 3DS situation. They had literally like one of the best Zelda games, one of the best video games ever made. Like, if there's like a top 10 video games, Breath of the Wild is on that list. I'm not saying where, but it's on that list.
Yeah, I'd agree.
I'm sorry, Herman. I'm my inner Italian's coming out.
I'm walking here.
Hey, I'm walking here.
I just $70 to me is too high for a video game, and I got burned once, and I'll never do it again. And when they said, "Oh, by the way, it's not 70 anymore; it's 80," that was like a big fu. I'm like, you know what? You can keep your expensive shit.
I paid 60 for Dragon Quest III Remake.
Mm-hmm.
But again, that was Dragon Quest III Remake. That was kind of worth the $60.
Well, to me, 60 is the threshold. Like, if it's a really good game and it's new, it just came out, I'll happily I'll happily pay $60 for it. $70, that game better be really damn good. And Tears of the Kingdom was not. You know,
like Breath of the Wild, you might be able to make an argument for 7. Like, and here's the other thing. If they were selling Breath of the Wild Definitive Edition for 70 and included the DLC, you could maybe make an argument because they make like Breath of the Wild is technically 50, and then the DLC is 20. Like, there's an argument there. Like there is an argument. Would you agree? You may not agree with it, but like, would you say there's an argument?
No, I would have probably bought it if it was like because I bought the collector's edition of Breath of the Wild. I bought it. We were just talking about these like ridiculously overpriced collector's editions. I bought one. I bought whatever the expensive game was, but it was under the auspices that it was the like collector's, like whatever, like the premium. It isn't the base game. It isn't your average game. And if you're starting at 80, you're starting at 70. That means it's going to go up even higher.
The fact that they are re-releasing Breath of the Wild without the DLC,
yeah,
it's so bad.
For $70, yeah, screw that. It's a 10-year-old game.
It's a $90 game. It's a $90 game.
Yeah.
But if they had released it for 70 with the DLC, you can make a value argument there. And yes, I'm hand talking. Here, you want your hands? Here's your bloody hands. Okay. How you doing? Herman? So if you're here and you like the hand jive, please make sure to give me a like. I do have a clips channel, Phoenix Press Clips, so make sure to go there. Also, I am running a fundraiser to do a print run. I'm selling $10 slots to get you a handcrafted poem on a actual card that I will mail to you. There's 20 slots, 2 of them are already taken, so I just need 18 more. You can PayPal me, which I did not think this through. I should be dropping my PayPal thing right there. Chris, talk for a second, please.
Okay.
I did not think this through. Talk about communist Marxist infiltration. You like that?
God damn it!
Sorry.
You're gonna give me crap for that when you give me crap for it, and then when it turns out to be true, you're gonna be like, "Wow, I owe that guy a big apology."
And I will give you a big apology. I will gladly eat crow.
Sadly, you won't be alive. That's what happens when what I say.
No. What will happen instead of eating crow? The crows are going to eat me.
Yeah. Unfortunately, It'll be a lot of our fates.
Yeah. Your fate, your crow's food. Ginger Blast will be happy.
Man.
All right. So here's a PayPal link. $10 to get your tap. Herman's got his slot already. I believe Jason has as well. But yeah, I'm looking forward to con season. I got 2 in June, a big one in July. I actually just bought one. Bought another con today. They weren't supposed to go on sale till tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
But I believe I believe I for some reason I was able to buy it today. I don't know how.
Wish I had more conventions around here.
It depends really. What's really weird is like I see people saying like, oh, Comic-Cons I don't really sell that well. I don't know. I don't know if I want to go in this discussion. Different things work for different people. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's kind of something I hate during a wrestle with because like in the past I kind of respond all smugly and whatnot, but I'm trying to get away from that. Honestly, I don't want to be a smug bastard anymore.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I just wish there were more convention stuff around here.
They're really fun. They are really fun.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think I'll ever go all out like I did that last one there. Spend all that money to get a nice table and everything. But like,
if you do, just kind of like start small. Like maybe not have as an elaborate display. Just kind of have your stuff here. Like, because I remember you told me how much you made. I'm not going to say the amount, but you made a decent amount, honestly. Like you kind of made about as much as I sometimes make at cons. So it's not like you didn't make money, you know?
Yeah, the amount of effort, return on investment is a thing. And it's
that's why I'm saying, like, maybe next time, like, tone down the effort and, like, the money. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just suggesting. I don't know.
I think just bring a backpack, throw some shit in it, and be like, hey, make a sales pitch.
I mean, that's not too dissimilar to what I do. Like, I have like a rubber tub of stuff. I throw down a tablecloth, put the comics on the table. I kind of arrange them kind of nice, and I go from there. Keep it simple. But I'm actually at the point where I need to kind of up my game a little bit.
Well, I'll be launching my my next book campaign soon. I'm just waiting on the proofreader stuff to come back.
Are you in pre-launch?
Yeah. I've been.
Drop the link, brother. Drop the link.
Let me find it. Let's see.
See, Chris has a privilege because he's a co-host. He's allowed to shill whenever he wants. That's his payment. I'm paying him an exposure.
Disney employee.
Yes,
Yeah.
Yes. You're getting paid in magic.
All right, I can't post in the
put in the private chat. I'll post it.
All right.
There we go. Sign-ups are live?
Yep, sign-ups have been live. Yep.
All right. So Chris is a pretty smart person, and his books are amazing. So make sure to sign up for the next Infinitil Chronicles at right here. Feel free to share it as things come along. I hope you do well. I'm not launching my next campaign till October. Like I was supposed to do one in June, but me and the writer, some stuff happened, so we decided to just kind of focus on Screecher. But yeah, I'm really excited. And then I kind of show these at the start, but I'm going to show them again. Screecher keychains. I got 6 of them.
Nice.
They're really nice. Came out a lot better than I thought it would, honestly. It took forever. Like I ordered this like almost a month ago, and they finally appeared.
Nice.
Based off of Mr. or Mrs. H's art, by the way.
Oh, cool.
So yeah, I think we're gonna wrap up here. So
Sweet.
tomorrow we'll be continuing our run through Cyberpunk. That's been really fun. On Sunday, me and Cass will be talking about our favorite RPGs. Let's see here, and then on Tuesday, play some Lords of the Fallen, some other games that you guys request, and then next Saturday, I think I had an idea. Let me see. I think I put it in the chat. We are going to talk about curse words in media, and do they fucking matter?
What the jack?
And also, this is not 100% yet, but I've talked to Watcher the Damned, and she's going to look at her schedule and possibly come on.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So I don't know. I think it's an interesting topic to talk about because like we always talk about like do you put too many curse words because like you've seen it, you know, like the overloading of curse words in media kind of thing. But then there's also the other part where like they don't want no curse words. And so we'll talk about is there any goddamn place for these things? I'm being facetious. So yeah, that'll be an interesting discussion. What do you think?
Yeah, man. Yeah. When I was working on Defiance there, we had our entire fake swear sheet.
Fake swear sheet.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we're gonna be bringing that up too. So yeah. Thank you everyone for joining us. I really appreciate it. You guys are awesome, and I will see you all tomorrow. For some cyberpunk action. And as always, this is Nick from the Phoenix Press. Remember, I can only show you the door. You don't want to walk through.